Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. It says I'm live, so I assume that means I'm live right now. I appreciate you guys joining us here for Region Weather Live. This is a special edition. Normally, we do this Sunday and Wednesday evenings, but it's Tuesday evening. You're not off a day. Everything's okay. We do have a storm system coming our way, so I do want to give us the latest details on that. We'll do another Region Weather Live tomorrow night just to kind of update on what the models are doing. And then we've got quiet weather for a little stretch. It's going to be really, really nice. So we won't talk much about the quiet weather. We'll talk about the active weather here, but we've got a lot to talk about. I'm really going to dumb down this storm system if that's okay. A lot of people overhyping it. There's a lot of hype around this. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're coming into this broadcast looking for fireworks and looking for, monster trucks and just the apocalypse is coming, it's not going to be found here. This system is going to be very, very manageable. And I'm going to talk you through it and tell you why it's going to be very manageable. This is not going to be a huge winter storm for us. It's still a winter storm because it's winter and this is a storm system and it takes up a good portion of the country. And some places will be impacted. So let's talk all about that after our beautiful opening video. We'll get to the details and I hope you came with questions because we'll answer those at the end. And you guys know what we do next. We have to thank our wonderful sponsors, and I mean it when I say wonderful. Tiger Plumbing is a Northwest Indiana plumbing expert. They've been a family-owned business over 40 years. Wonderful people. Kim and Jeff, I've gotten to know them so well over the last month, and they're fantastic. They'll come out, no service charge, free estimates. They're offering $30 off sump pump installation. Lots of rain around recently. Sump pumps don't last forever, so if you have problems, visit them at tigerplumbing.net, and also Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso. You all know their name. It's a household name, especially in the Valpo and Northwest Indiana region. They make car buying fun. And I've had a couple of you that said the car buying actually is fun with them. Obviously, they're just a great family-owned business as well. We're so proud to work with them. And we're actually going to be working with them all the way through the summer months. How about that? So please pay them a visit, support our sponsors. They keep this free. All right, let's get into this. I want to say hi to all the shout outs. Brandy, hi Mark, hi Susan, hi Mary, hi Chris, hi Jeff. JW says Grant Park, Illinois in the house. Hey JW. And Mark Koppel saying some really nice words. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Terry and Terry, both spelled differently. Appreciate you guys joining in as well. All right, so here's what we're going to do, okay? I want to add this here. I'm going to start big picture, right? I said we are not going to overhype because we never overhype here. I'm going to talk this storm down. I don't want you to mistaken that for the fact that we're still going to have some impacts around here. But again, this is not the blockbuster storm that we've all been waiting for or dreading, depending on wherever you fall in line here. Bernard, you're welcome. And Melissa says, hi, Matt. My family calls you my weather husband. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I want to say first off, I am so appreciative of all of you. We have such a good family here. I mean, we've had a Region Weather family for a long time. We're working on 7 years now. But I've met so many of you through, this over the last, year and a half or so. I remember Christmas Eve, we were doing some broadcasts 2 years ago now. That was when we first got into the live broadcasting. And I just love you guys so much. I really, really do. I appreciate your kind words and even the snarky words. Some of you get snarky sometimes, and that's okay because it's late February and we're talking another winter storm. All right, I'm going to go full screen on this if that's okay. What you're looking at here, I'm going to spend maybe a minute on this graphic. We've used this before for winter storms. This is called the Winter Storm Severity Index, right? This is a product that's put out by the Weather Prediction Center. And basically what you're looking at is where impacts, we always preach impacts here, right? It doesn't matter how much snow you end up getting. It's either a lot that's impactful or it's a little bit that kind of is impactful or it's none, right? It's all about how it impacts your daily life. That's what we always need to be focused on, okay? So looking at this, you'll notice yellow is minor impacts. This is their forecast, and I totally agree with this. I'm glad they're on board. You see where their major impacts, this is what this storm system we're going to be talking about. The major impacts are going to be in Arkansas. They are going to have some super heavy icing down there beyond half an inch of ice, which does damage to trees and power lines. That'll take things down. They're expecting upwards of 3/4 an inch of ice down there. That's where the big impacts are going to be from the storm with the ice. You notice as we get up towards the Ohio Valley, Northwest Indiana as well, we've got minor impacts. So not a direct threat to life and property. That's their definition of this. Typically results in an inconvenience to daily life. That's where we're going with this. All right. This is not going to be a huge storm system. This is going to be a storm system that comes in. We're going to have some slick travel for a while. We're going to have some snow. I don't think we're going to get blockbuster totals out of this either. But it's just going to be a winter storm, and we are not going to get the worst of this one. I don't think, initially it was looking like this was going to be very similar to the storm we had last week. I don't think it's going to be that way anymore. It doesn't look like it. There's not enough moisture in it. I'll show you here in a second. All right, so let's get to it. In terms of the modeling, we'll start with this. This is I'm going to zoom in so you can see it a little bit better too, if that's okay. I think it's just better if I go off the screen. I love to see you all, but I'd rather have you see the maps. I think that's more important. All right, here we go. And I've got the big region weather live blocking half of Kentucky. Sorry, Kentucky. All right, so here we go through time. This is our storm system. This is the one that's moving out. Just a couple side notes. The cold air really spilled in here fast today. We saw it really come in off the lake is where it came off at first. It didn't really come in with the front. So temperatures have crashed. You know that. Obviously, we had a lot of rain. We had some thunder around as well earlier today. It doesn't seem like today, does it? But all that water out there, keep in mind, we're gonna have some slick spots out there, sidewalks, decks, stuff like that, surfaces that are untreated. So keep that in mind tomorrow morning, likely some slick spots as we stay cold tonight. This is the exiting system here. As we go through time, we get a quiet day tomorrow. We do have area-wide flurries that are kind of blossoming on radar tonight. So we're likely to have some very light snow overnight tonight, which may put a coating down on top of some of that water, which turns into ice. So keep that in mind tomorrow morning as well. All right, done with tonight, done with tomorrow. A little bit of lake effect snow. Again, that's that snow shower activity. May be ongoing for much of the day tomorrow across areas of LaPorte County, southwest lower Michigan. May end up with some light totals out there, maybe an inch or two at best. But again, that lake effect will be ongoing during the day tomorrow, but that's east. So LaPorte County, for our folks listening from there, you're likely to have snow showers tomorrow. And then if you're heading up towards Michigan, we'll have that as well. Lake County, Porter County, likely not much tomorrow. Here you go. You see the initial wave. This is our next storm system coming in. This initial wave has really fizzled out. There's going to be a strong northeast wind coming into the system. That brings drier air in from Canada. So as that does so, it's really going to kind of dry out this first wave of moisture as it comes in. May have the lake effect shift back. Models have been pretty consistent with that. So this is tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. We may have the lake effect that's ongoing during the day in LaPorte County shift west as the winds shift. So we may have some snow tomorrow evening, Lake and Porter County. It'll be very brief and it'll be moving from east to west. I know that's backwards. All right, after that, our first wave comes in. That will likely spread some snow showers in here. This is very early in the morning. This is like 5 a.m. on Thursday. So here's Wednesday evening. We get snow showers, and then we likely have just a smattering of snow. But remember, dry air is working into it, so there's not going to be a lot to deal with that, just some flakes flying in the air. We should have a break. This is Thursday morning, so if you have any travel plans Thursday morning, I think you're looking okay. Thursday midday looks okay as well. Right after lunchtime, boy, this is a carbon copy of last week in terms of the timing. Right after lunchtime is when I think things will start to go downhill. This doesn't look to be a huge quick punch like that last storm system. Once it started, man, things got bad in a hurry, right? We had an inch and a half an hour snowfall rates in a hurry. I don't see that with this storm system. It's just not as well organized as last week's, but there's going to be a wave of moisture coming in. So this model, this is a NAMNES. This brings it in afternoon. So we're talking, and again, this will probably change by a couple hours either way. I would imagine it's going to stay still in the afternoon though. But again, this is after lunch towards afternoon. We're now talking evening rush hour here where we get some snow in here. All the ice is down towards the south. Could have a good burst of snow, and this is Thursday evening rush hour. I think it'll be manageable at this point. I don't think we need to start canceling that evening rush hour and getting home from work early. But just know from rush hour and beyond, things are going to start to go downhill. So if you have Thursday night plans, you might want to reconsider. We're going to have snow falling, could be moderate to heavy at times. I don't think it's going to be consistently heavy. And we may have some dry air still working in here as well. As we go through Thursday night, you notice the snow's pretty consistent. The wind is out of the east, which is a little bit different, right? Normally it's northeast with these storms. This is going to be more of an east-northeast wind. So we're not dealing with lake effect or lake enhancement with this. We just have a general snow that comes in here. Friday afternoon or Friday late morning is when I think the wind will start to shift. That's when we may start to play with some lake enhanced bands. So our lake effect will turn the snow a little bit fluffier. We may have some enhanced snow along our lakeshore counties with this. And then the thing clears out of here. We'll likely have lake effect. You can see the banding taking place up towards Waukegan or so, just north of Chicago. That band will likely swing in here Friday afternoon. So we're not quite done with the snow yet, but the bulk of the storm system's out of here. So in total, this is what the storm looks like. You can see as we go through time, you get this wave of precip that comes through. It does look to be all snow. Some of the models have the icing a little bit further north in Newton and Jasper County. I'm not buying it at this point. I think we'll stay all snow, but it's not really a real productive snow either. Just looking at some of the modeling, looking at some of the profile going up in the atmosphere, there's a spot called the dendritic growth zone. I know that's a big word, but it's evening, so we can handle it. Our brains are working right. And that's where snowflakes form, right? And it's either a really large area up in the atmosphere or it's a small area. There's not a lot of lift to be able to get the snowflakes up there and to form those big fluffy snowflakes. So I think we're going to have more of a wet snow initially, but I think we'll have some smaller flakes in that. I don't see the big fluff factor that we had, especially towards the end of the last storm. So I really don't see this storm producing big snowfall totals. I have kind of a gut feeling anywhere from 2 to 6. I know that's kind of a wide range. I have not looked at what the NAM-NEST is saying. The NAM-NEST barely has anything. You can see that's not a lot of snow, right? There's a strip of snow down to the south where we may crank out 4 inches, and that could come north. And then we're playing with some lake effect behind this as well. This does not include lake effect Friday afternoon. So I think that's where we get some of our higher totals. But this isn't a robust storm, right? It's a couple inches of snow. I do want to show you a couple other models, though. As we always go through these models, I like to play the angel and the devil, right? In terms of, hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is what the models are saying, but there is this option. So this is the Euro model, and I think you guys can see it okay. This is the latest Euro run. This is out of this evening. It kind of fizzles out that initial wave as well. It brings in precip on Thursday afternoon, Thursday night. But you look, it's not real heavy. There's not real organization. This area back in here is kind of separate from the main low pressure system. So the moisture is not really compact like it has been with the last couple storms. So we get some snow, says the Euro. Here's that time frame. See, the latest Euro agrees with me in terms of, I think we get some of the heavier snow really in the Friday morning as we tap into the lake in that northeast wind. That brings some pretty decent snow through here Friday morning. Then you can see it's all out of here. A little lake effect at the end. Then we're done. We're done with this system. The GFS is the one I want to show you. So the Euro in terms of snowfall totals, I'll just pop them up here real quick. It's pretty similar to the NAM-NEST that we just saw. So we're talking 2 to 4 inches around the area, right? Certainly manageable. It may bring a little slick icing, maybe a coating of ice to our southern counties with the Euro. But again, I think the icing is not going to be a big deal. Here's the GFS, though. GFS is significantly higher with the snowfall totals. But if you've been tracking with us, the GFS has always been, all winter long, it's been producing some really high totals. And then it kind of backs down the day before the event. So the Euro, less. The NAM, less. The GFS, more in terms of snow. This is probably the one that your clickbait websites are showing you right now is, hey, a big winter storm coming our way, 6 to 8 inches, 6 to 10 inches actually is what this one has. I don't think so at this point. I just don't agree with the GFS. I think the amount of precip in the system is a little bit too high. But I do want you to know this is possible, right? It's a solution that's getting spat out by the models, and it doesn't mean we rule it out, because the second we rule it out, it's going to come true, right? We can't get arrogant with our forecasting here. So why does the GFS have more? Well, as you go through time, you notice it has that first wave coming in with a good hit of snow, and then it has that hit of snow continuing. So there's really no backing off with the snow. It doesn't have a lot of lake effect behind it in terms of that heavy lake enhancement. But boy, I mean, the GFS is there, and it certainly has some decent snowfall totals coming out of that. Okay, that's all I have for you. So, what's one to think? Well, at this point, we're close enough to be able to have a pretty accurate forecast around this. So I think 2 to 6 generally. I think 6 is going to be on the high range. My gut says 2 to 4, but I'll go 2 to 6 just to give the GFS's 8 some credibility. And I think that's going to be area wide. And what time frame is that? That's really Thursday. I think it'll really ramp up evening rush hour and beyond. So Thursday evening, Friday morning. Will we have school cancellations Friday morning? We might. I mean, you got to think about it. This is going to be an area-wide snow. It's not a lake effect event. So road crews have to get every street, right? Some of the more rural areas, we will have some wind with this as well. Especially on the backside of this, I think we'll have gusty winds coming out of the northeast, and that would be Friday morning. So we're going to have some blowing and drifting snow, especially as we get later and later in this event into Friday. That snow is going to become a little fluffier. So that Friday morning rush hour does look pretty tricky. So the timing on this could be just right for your school cancellations, maybe delays, whatever it happens to be. Maybe you don't go into the office, you work from home. But that Friday morning does look impacted. But as we go back to this map again, minor impacts, right? So inconvenience. Will you be able to travel in it? Probably. Should you travel in it? It depends on how good of a winter weather driver you are. But for sure, we're going to have impacts. But again, this isn't a blockbuster storm, okay? All right, so I hope that works. So if you have questions, go ahead and ask them now. I know you have a lot, and I appreciate that. Stephanie, it's the first comment I'm seeing, says, ugh, no more snow. Stephanie, I share your sentiment. I think a lot of people do. It's this time of year that winter just starts to drag on a little bit too long, where I'm sure some of us kind of wish we lived just a little further south in the spring, right? It's nice to have all the seasons for sure. Diane, you're welcome with that. Chris asks a great question. Will the system add to the flooding risk? Chris, no, it won't. The ice jam risk is back with the cold air that we have. There's not a lot of moisture content with this, and it's going to be mainly snow. So the snow, is kind of like a savings account as opposed to a checking account. When you get the rain, it's like a checking account where you get the heavy rain and you can cash out right away and all that water goes everywhere. The snow gets kind of saved around. It's moisture. It's like rain that's waiting to melt, right? So when it melts is when we have to worry about it. I don't think we're going to add to that for sure. Let's see. Terry has to work. Terry, be careful. Again, it'll be snowing, but I'm not too worried about that for sure. Debbie says, came across region weather about 3 months and look forward to your forecast. Debbie, you're welcome. I appreciate that. I thank you for coming across us for sure. I hope everyone hears our messaging. Again, we're the No Hype channel. I hope that's okay to keep things real, right? But it's going to be an inconvenient storm, and that's it, right? We're going to have snow around. You can drive in snow. It's late February. You should have perfected your skills. But I hope everyone hears that, and we've lost the hype with that for sure. Yeah, Eric, that's fun. Alice says, how quick do you think the lake effect will be down on Friday? I think pretty quick, Alice. I think it'll linger in LaPorte County for a while, but I think Lake and Porter County, we're not going to see a ton of lake effect from this. We may pick up an additional inch or two. And again, that's why I want to go the 2 to 6 inch range for all of Northwest Indiana to account for maybe some of that lake effect on the back end. Carolyn, the commute Friday morning does look tricky. Again, it's going to be an inconvenient commute, so we'll likely have snow. Temperatures are going to be cold as well. Treated surfaces, we may get a couple higher snowfall rates during the night, where it may ramp up. It might light up for a little bit where you just have light snow. But I really don't see this being a huge event. Josh asks, how much do you think for the Western Chicago burbs? I don't think as much, Josh. My best guess with this system, it depends on that lake effect you get initially and the lake enhancement. I would probably put you in the 2 to 6 inch range as well. This isn't going to be one of the storms that misses you completely to the southeast. You'll be in the snow, but when this band of snow moves through, it's not going to be, the models always have this solid block, like the perfect system where it's a solid block. And from experience, these storms tend to have holes in them. You get dry air in spots, you get heavier snow in spots. It usually evens out. But again, this storm system is going to be moving through you as well with a pretty consistent snow as it looks right now. Laverne asked why. I don't know, Laverne. Mother Nature's just getting back at us for a warm December. Mark, it is, buddy, for sure. I hope that's a Will Ferrell reference. He's one of my favorite people. What time Thursday will this start? Brianna, it looks like anytime during the afternoon, like 2-3 o'clock, we'll probably start to spit some snow out. I don't think we'll start to feel the impacts probably until around that evening rush hour, and then it should go downhill after that. Those of us who plow could use about 4 inches. John, yeah, I mean, it's certainly attainable. When I give a range 2 to 6, keep in mind a lot of people tend to go to the 6 and say, yeah, we're getting 6 inches of snow. Keep in mind, we could end up with 2 out of this, right? I really think it'll be around 3, probably 3 or 4. That's the middle of it. But again, we'll see. The things could change tomorrow. We could have a complete new model run that throws a wrench in there. I don't see that happening, but we'll see for sure. Timothy, thanks. As a truck driver instructor. Timothy, awesome, man. Yeah, boy, I bet you have some stories. A truck driving instructor. I bet you have some really bad drivers at first. That's scary. My daughter just turned 6, and she's 10 years away from being 16, obviously. But I dread that day teaching her to drive. She's anything like her mother. I'm just saying, driving wise. I don't think she's not watching. She can't hear me. Anyway, okay. Brent says, how much snow will we get on the northwest corner of Broadway? Around 3,100 feet from the stoplight at Maryville. Brent, you're going to get 4.3 inches right there. You go measure that, buddy. Let's see how we do here. For sure. Let's see. Jeff says, my daughter says she's moving, doesn't like winter. I don't blame her, really. Get away while you can, right? But do we not have the best place in the country in the fall and the summer and late spring? We really do, as long as we don't have a lake breeze, Jennifer, thank you very much. Yeah, I know, Jennifer. I'm getting sick of reporting about the snow, to be honest with you. I appreciate that, though. Teresa, are we looking mostly trouble for travel on Friday morning or Thursday as well? Teresa, Thursday night. So Thursday, I think the evening rush hour may get tricky depending on how this system pushes in. I'm not too worried about the Thursday evening rush hour. Thursday evening, though, after rush hour through Friday morning rush hour will be tricky. Both kind of look equally tricky for sure. Kevin, you're welcome. Aaron Rodgers. Do you think that if Aaron Rodgers is traded with that, makes Chicago the team to beat? Oh, if they get traded to the Bears? I think so. Why wouldn't they? Where are we going to put our quarterback? Matt, any optimism for spring like pattern? Chris, that's a great question. So the cold air on Monday that we were looking at looked really cold still. It looked like March was going to start really cold as of yesterday. The models are starting to warm that up. It may not be as cold to start March. All indication is that 2 weeks from now, so we're talking latter half of the first week of March, even in the second week of March, it does look like we get some kind of pattern change where at least it becomes more zonal. You guys wouldn't believe the pattern right now has just been coming out of the Northwest for a long time. Really since mid-January, it's been relentless. I understand it's not a terrible winter by winter standards, but it's pretty incredible to have the pattern that we've had for so long. So we should definitely clear out of this hopefully soon. Amanda's our bee farmer. I don't even know how to say that right. I guess you're a hive. I don't know what it's called. A beehive lady. Appreciate the info though, Amanda, on the beehive stuff for my sister. Rob, next week we get kind of interesting. Why don't I just show it to you real quick? So I'll show you the GFS. This goes long range, right? This goes out 384 hours. So this is what the weekend's looking like. There's going to be something down to our south. Here's our cold air hit coming in from the north. The GFS still latches onto it. So we could be dealing with lake effect Sunday, Monday. And then as we go through time, we go quiet. We don't warm up. GFS brings a clipper in here Tuesday. Not much snow with that. But then we get active towards the end of the pattern with this, whatever that is. That's Friday the 5th or the 4th going into Saturday the 5th. And then beyond that, there's another storm. And this one would bring accumulating snow if that held true. But you notice they're coming at us from the west as opposed to the south. So that's better in terms of a warm up. Again, don't believe anything that says. That will change. But sometimes those bigger storms will hold. They'll just look a little bit different when they arrive, for sure. All right, couple more questions, then we'll get you on to your night. I had a long day at work today, and I haven't had dinner yet. And my wife made me dinner. She's so sweet. It's sitting upstairs. It's like a plate with a plate over it. She's so sweet. Love her to death. My wife and I have been, we were best friends in high school. Just to give you guys a side note, you guys are the ones that stuck around. We were best friends in high school. We met in high school. I fell in love with her, and she put me in the friend zone for like 12 years. And we moved to Chicago. I got my job at Lakeshore Public Television in Maryville, and we were still friend zone. And we started to go to church together in Chicago. and we kind of fell in love with each other and how we were growing in the Lord. And it was really, really kind of neat how it all came together. So we've been married. We've been best friends for like 22 years. We were pen pals the first couple summers, and we kept all the letters and we, put them together at our wedding and stuff. I don't know. It's really cool. But my wife and I have a big back history. If anyone has, if anyone's younger on here, let's just say that, or perhaps you've been pursuing someone that you really like, I can give you all sorts of advice on that. We don't just do weather here. Beekeepers. That's it, Mike. Thank you. Amanda, thank you. Beekeeper. Why couldn't I think of that? I was on the spot. Mike, that's an interesting comment. Rob says, so does that mean Destin, Florida will be warm for spring break in late March? Probably. Boy, they've been completely different down there. It's been cold. They've had cold shots down in Florida in the deep south. But Rob, they're going to be warm no matter what. It's rare that they're cold for spring break, because normally that warm air tries to battle back for sure. Yeah, thanks guys. I appreciate the support on the story. I didn't know if I was going out on a ledge on that. I was like, I don't know if anyone wants to hear this or not. Yeah, DK, you're absolutely right. God is good, my friend. 80, thank you. I like your name, 80. All right, so I think that's it, you guys. And so in terms of impacts, just to recap, if anyone just jumped on, this isn't going to be a huge storm. It's going to be an inconvenient storm, and the snow will arrive. It's all snow. Snow will arrive Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening rush hour. Make it tricky. I don't think crazy. Thursday evening, think about what you're doing or what you have plans for Thursday evening or Friday morning. Both of those are going to be the tricky times with this, as we get kind of on and off snow at a consistent rate throughout the event. We'll have to keep an eye on the lake enhancement on the backside on Friday. We do turn windy throughout this, so we'll have blowing and drifting snow on Friday, and then it's out of here and we have some quiet weather after that, okay? So what we'll do is we are going to go live again tomorrow night. I'll update you. I'll take you through the models in terms of what they're saying tomorrow. I don't anticipate a lot of changes. There may be some fine-tuned changes. The one thing I'll watch for tonight or tomorrow in the runs is if this low tracks just a little bit further north. If it does, because models tend to correct north, right? I haven't seen a lot of that this winter, but models do tend to bump it further north with the advanced model runs. If it does come north, we would introduce some icing into Newton and Jasper counties, maybe even Stark County. So that's what I'll watch for tomorrow. The other thing we can watch for is how much precip's in this storm system. Numbers definitely came down today, but if we could get more Gulf of Mexico moisture in there, whatever it happens to be, that can always fluctuate as well. But right now, I think a widespread 2 to 6 inches across Northwest Indiana. I think it's going to be inconvenient. Yes. Is it going to be shut everything down? No. Friday morning, though, due to timing, this may hit perfectly in terms of timing if you're looking for a school cancellation or a reason not to go to work. Okay. That's what we're dealing with. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support as always. We'll talk again tomorrow, and enjoy your tart cherry juice tonight if that's